The following program is a production of All the Way Live Entertainment.
This show is sponsored by APCW Wrestling Academy. Learn wrestling from WWE Hall of Famer Robert Gibson. If you're interested in becoming a professional wrestler, contact them at 770-871-5417 or online at apcwdouglasville@gmail.com. Also, by Collar and Elbow Brand. Save 10% on your next purchase by using our discount code WPNRUSSELL. That's WPNRUSSELL at checkout and get a discount on great collar and elbow products.
You know, and we all have our 15 minutes of fame, and I'd like to take a couple of my 15 minutes to talk about the rights and the wrongs in the world of professional wrestling.
And it is for the WWE Championship.
This match is for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship.
The World Heavyweight Championship.
The match and new NWA Heavyweight Champion.
We appreciate you guys coming out and taking your time to support women's wrestling in America.
This match is for the AWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship.
It has been a long time coming, but I have finally got her. Tonight on the podcast, I have a lady wrestler who has been partly referred to affectionately by me, that's easy for me to say it, as a member of the Tennessee crew that has come down to Georgia on numerous occasions. She's been featured on my channel no less than about 4 or 5 times, and between stretching her opponents in the ring, she's at home doing the mama thing. So she's a woman of varying skills. Veteran in the ring, one half of the highest viewed video that the Women's Pro Wrestling Network channel has ever produced. And I'm going to say that she's only just begun. So we are, for the first time, going to talk about the highs, the lows, the hows, the whys of the business, exactly what she'd like to accomplish, everything in between. Joining me, she is known as the Black Widow. This is Brianna Call.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on. I am very honored.
Wow, the honor is mine to have you on finally, because as I said, you've been featured on the channel a number of times now, whether you were aware of it or not.
Right, absolutely.
So, so let's get down into it. As I did say during that intro, you're part of what I affectionately refer to as the Tennessee crew. Yourself, Wetmore, Tiffany Rocks, Rock and Roll Roxy, Miranda Wrights, etc. Y'all have been in and around the Tennessee area, and then of course popping in Georgia here and there. In fact, I want to say I think the first time I ever saw you work may have been you and Wetmore taking on Rocks and Roxy. I'm not going to say the team name that they were worked under because I know there was some legalese that kind of kicked in around that.
Yes.
But do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I believe I do. That was a while back.
Well, yeah, it was. I mean, what do you remember what year that is, or thereabout?
Oh, I'm wanting to say maybe I've been in the business since 2009, so maybe 2013, maybe
Really?
14.
I would have figured that to be one of your early ones.
It may have been. Honestly, I had so many encounters with them.
I know you have. See, now that's what I'm talking about. That's my Tennessee crew. I love y'all guys.
Yes.
Y'all are kind of interacted and switched and swapped partners and opponents on a variety of different ways. I kind of stage you, and I don't know if this is a good way to say it, by outfit and your look. That is how I kind of gauge the time frame when I'm looking at the Black Widow.
Yes.
Speaking of name, who named you?
Actually, it was between my trainer and Logan Chase, actually. The manager that I'm sure a lot of people know who he is. He actually helped train me as well, and they came up with my name, so we went with it, and it kind of stuck.
So you've never carried a different persona, and you never went by any other name in the business. Has always been the Black Widow.
Yes, always been the Black Widow.
Well, you're one of the fortunate ones then. You didn't have a bunch of different names kind of tossed on you.
Yeah, exactly.
So the I don't want to say the easy question here, but the obvious question for me is why wrestling? Of all the things that you could be doing with yourself, all the things that that you could break out your skills to accomplish, why the crazy world of professional wrestling?
Well, as we all grow up, watching wrestling. Well, at least I know I did. Just seeing everything and then I, grew up watching wrestling, and it's just like, one day I'm really going to do that. So, when I was old enough, brought back up, my brother was actually, he actually got into wrestling before I did. And then, I seen, watched him train and everything, and I was like, well, I really want to try that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did, and I become good. Well, it took a while, but I think I improved, and it's in my blood, it's in my passion, and it's just something that I've always wanted to do, honestly.
Okay, so this was a case of longtime fan, and somewhere along the
Mhm.
line, somebody introduced you to the how. Like they introduced you to, hey,
Yes,
you could actually make this work, and you took that leap.
I sure did. I absolutely.
Okay, so let's rewind the clock back to when you were starting out. You saw your brother, he does it. You feel like, hey, I could do that too. You jump into the well, I'm gonna say I don't want to make it sound like that. And you didn't just jump into the ring, but you began to train. And at no point did it ever come to you like, "Whoo, this is harder than I thought," or anything like that.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, there was nights I went home and my body was just like, are you really gonna keep doing this to yourself? And but just ice it over, put some icy hot on, and it was just really something I was really passionate about. So I decided just to keep going, to keep practicing, and so I did. And the more I did it, and the more I practiced, the more I fell in love with the business and everything, all the aspects, everything. I just fell in love, so I just wanted to keep going.
Well, good on you. We're glad that you kept going. But I think it's fair that you have to explain that it's not as fun as what you. Well, let me not say fun because I'm pretty sure there are moments when you have your fun, but
Yeah.
taking the bump. That's probably what I mean to say. Taking the bump for the first time when you are flat back and in that ring, and then you realize, you know what, this is not quite that trampoline that people like to describe it as. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, absolutely. It's like I'm not. When I first took that very first bump, I didn't let my air out, and so I lost. Like I had to lay there for a second. I'm like, oh, this was a bad idea. And it took a couple of tries and a couple of tries, and there for a while, I would think too much, and so I would psych myself out and not want to do it. But then I was like, oh, you know what? Just do it, and then I just practiced and practiced and practiced, and but yeah, that very first bump was just like, oh, why did I even think that? I didn't think this through at all.
okay. So you did that. How long did it take you to get to the point where it's like, okay, I've settled into this. I'm good now. I can take it.
I would say it took me about a good month and a half to be like, okay, well, I think I'm starting to get the hang of this. It's not hurting as bad. I'm realizing, hey, tuck your chin, let your air out, don't hold it in. And I would say about a month and a half, I was like, okay, I can get the hang of this, and just went from there, honestly.
Okay, very good. Is there any one place that you would refer to as your home promotion, or you just kind of a nomad?
Yeah, I would have to say TWA, and well, it's not running anymore, but it was in Dalton, Georgia, and it was TWA. That's where I officially like broke out and started. But yeah,
that was the
the
one.
owner, yeah, that was the one. The owner, actually, I think he, rest his soul, he passed away a couple years ago, and he was a great man, and that I just consider my home and my breakout, and now he just took me in and welcomed me with warm arms, and I will always be grateful for TWA and Doug Watkins.
Okay. I've never had the opportunity to hit a TWA show. I don't think I ever had that chance to go there. In fact, I want to say, what were the ones that I've seen you at? Georgia Premiere, Universal, when Universal was running. They're no longer running anymore.
Right.
I, I believe those were the two big ones, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Peach State. I can't remember if you ever worked Peach State or not.
No, I've worked TWE, of course, Georgia Premiere, Universal. You know, when it was running, I think that was the main one, was because I worked Pandora a lot over in that area when she was still out and about and working, and yeah.
Yes, you did. Although I did not produce the video for that specific match, I didn't get the opportunity to catch you in Pandora working live, at least.
Yes.
But I did get the chance to catch you in Carlisle working, and I'll get to that in a moment. I was there for Ladies' Night. I did produce that video. It is available on our site right now for anybody that hasn't had the opportunity to see the Widow. She worked the main event on that show.
Yes.
And yeah, see that sounded like that was one of the highlights, maybe, of your wrestling career at the time.
Yes, absolutely. I love Casey Carlisle, and I've always looked up to Casey, and I'm waiting for a rematch. So I'm ready for a rematch. I've been ready since I was able to work her, and I'm ready to work her again.
Well, for those that did not, since we're already talking about it, might as well just skip down to that. For those that didn't see it, again, you can go into our archives, Women's Pro Wrestling Network on YouTube. It is listed as DSCW Ladies Night 2014. And on that show, the Black Widow wrestled against, I don't think she was the NWA Women's Champion at the time, but Casey Carlisle. And I will say, and this is what I wanted to get to talk to you about, there was a point in that match where it seemed like it just got amped up a little bit, and if you listen to it, if anybody goes back and listens to it, just skip my commentary for a second, just listen to it. There's some real nasty, hard hits going on there.
Yes, absolutely. Like she's tough, but I'm pretty tough too. So when you get two tough women in a ring, we're going to brawl, and I think that's exactly what happened. She showed her A game, I showed my A game, and I thought it went over great. And another opportunity, we both bring our A games again, and I think it would be over the top.
Well, I have no doubt about that, but what was the switch that kicked off there? I mean, because yeah, typical guy don't cuss on my channel, but I was like, there's a point in there. It was like she just kicked the shit out of you in the pack. I was like, what's going on right now?
Honestly, I'm not sure. All I know is I know in the beginning, I think she almost hurt her ankle. Honestly, she really did. In the opening of our match, she almost hurt her ankle, and so I just took advantage, I guess, and I guess she kind of got, I don't know, I guess because I took advantage of the opportunity that portrayed, but anyway, other than that, I mean, she's a great worker, and I would work her over and over again if I had the chance.
I bet you would, and I do want to make sure that people understand that you didn't just take a bit. It's like you gave as good as you got. So I mean,
yes,
and like I said, you can hear it. So anybody that's curious about it, check out the main event. If you doubt what I say, just listen to the thuds and the hits and the smacks in that match after what she just talked about, where unfortunately Casey at that time, I think she had a wet spot in the ring and twisted her ankle a little bit, and it seemed like whatever was playing, I'm not going to say whatever was playing, but whatever she might have thought to be doing at that point, it had to be readjusted, and then it just turned into, let's just beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, pretty much. You're pretty much right.
Okay. I had always wondered about that. But it's great. It's a fun match, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to call it. But yeah, it was fun just to kind of witness that. I think around that time you were really going through, in my view, a kind of an up climb as the widow. I was pushing for you really at that stage, because I had seen the first version of you in the tag match with Wetmore. Then all of a sudden in that show, I see this different, lean version of the Black Widow. She's stepping into the ring, and then I see you again, I think a couple of months later, taking on Jessica Wetmore. And this is episode 19, for anybody that's wondering about it. This is the episode that is the highest viewed that the Women's Pro Wrestling Network has. It's at 1.9 million views. That is
yes. That's amazing.
It's exceptionally high. Now, granted, just to clear the air, I am sure that there's a significant amount of people that's viewing that for all the wrong reasons. Okay?
Yes.
I told Jessica that when I saw her face, like, yeah, y'all got a lot of views. Now, I know it's a lot. There's some guys out there that's viewing that for all the wrong reasons, but it is the one driving video that is on that channel. I mean, it's incredible. And I think I said it in the commentary, he looked like a wrestler's wrestler. In the video, I mean, I don't know how it reminded me in style of a Dean Malenko, where it was whatever, forget all the fun and games. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to stretch you and then I'm going to go home.
Yeah, exactly.
So is that the persona that we were looking to kind of accomplish at the time, or what we were trying to relate to the audience?
Yeah, like my character is just hang on. My character is pretty much, I'm gonna spin you in my web, and you're gonna piss me off either way. I'm still gonna spin you in my web, whether you're nice to me or not. I'm still gonna come and I'm going to take you out. I'm going to do whatever I have to do and just lay you on the mat, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try and, get the better of you. And then, sometimes, they might get the better of me, but I do try my best to be the Black Widow and just, you know.
Well, you did a fantastic job with it. That's for certain. Now, of course, I'm not going to point out how you won in that match because that I'm sure you would argue that it was fair and square. But
Oh yeah, absolutely.
well, I as a commentator have to take a less biased approach. I have to say it objectively. I don't know if that was fair. I will leave that for anybody that is listening to this to go back and witness on their own. It seems like you took advantage of Miss Whitmore. Let's just go ahead and call it. You took advantage, and you got a quick one over on her. And we never got the rematch, unfortunately. I think that shortly thereafter, life changes, we'll call it, happened. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, we never got the opportunity to get that rematch.
Unfortunately, no, we did not.
Because if I had the money and had the time, I absolutely would have booked it.
I would have loved to have a rematch too.
It seemed your most persistent opponent, Jessica. I mean, for those that are listening.
Yes.
So she's the one that has kind of, I don't want to say mirrored you, but followed you the bulk of your career.
Yes, I would have to say yes, absolutely.
And now, is she active currently? I mean, the last time I saw her, I believe she had just had a child, so I'm not sure if she even wrestles any longer.
No, she will, like, occasionally, like, if, somebody, would book her or want her. But other than that, she just stays at home and with her babies, and she just doesn't really wrestle much anymore, honestly.
Oh man, are you kidding? We need to change that.
Yeah,
We need to get
I
Widow
know.
and Wetmore again one more time. Just for that one quick rematch, the match that never happened.
Yes, I would love to have that match. Love to have that match. I've always loved working Jessica, and I would love to have my rematch with her.
Now let's go into your particular life changes because you had a kind of a similar thing. Motherhood came into play. Well, you were already a mother at that time, but motherhood again, we'll say that, came into
Yes.
play, which naturally caused a hiatus. Do you ever feel like when you take the hiatus that it affect you in the ring adversely, or was it just like, okay, ride the bike, boom, I'm back on it?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, of course, I was there. I was going, pretty steady, and then of course, I got pregnant, and then I just jumped right back in. I think it was about I gave about a month and a half, 2 months. I jumped right back in. I was going for a while, and then I ended up pregnant again. And this last time, and of course, my last son. Uh, and then I just hopped right back in it, and I've been going ever since. It was just like, took time off there for a while, and then just hopped right back into it. It's like once you learn a bike, you don't forget. Learn how to ride a bike, you don't forget.
And that's all you needed was a month. Really, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
See, I'd assume that's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take me at least 2 or 3 months off after that and relax for a little while or something. But nope, just a month and
Nope.
you back in.
I was back in. I was ready. As I said, I'm passionate about wrestling, and it's in my blood, and I was ready to get back in that ring. So
I
I
see.
waited about a month, and I went back in full force.
I mean, do you do anything like to shake off the rust a little bit first before, or is it just like, oh, hey, I'm ready to start booking? Run the
I
ropes?
mean, I would. Yeah, I mean, I would, go to the ring and, like, do a couple bumps, run the ropes, get a little, warm up a little bit, and then. But other than that, yeah, I was ready to dive right back on in.
Well, you are a pretty dedicated wrestler, that's for certain. So there's no point in me asking why you came back, because clearly it's just passion.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, let's ask this: who would you cite as an influence in your wrestling?
Oh,
Ah, I got to think
like,
about this one.
yeah. Do you mean like just
That's in
who
general.
influenced, just in general?
That's in general. Doesn't have to be some major name and nothing like that. There's, we want to give credit where credit is due.
Let's see. Oh Lord, there's so many. Honestly, there
Well,
really is.
fire me off a few. If you have any that come to mind, fire me off a few. It doesn't have to be one person.
Um, well, they're locally like the influencers and like because they have so much passion for the business. It makes me have so much passion. Like Chip Hazard,
Okay.
Ray Fury. I love watching Ray Fury work. He's amazing. Joey Lynch. I love watching Joey Lynch. He has all that passion, and you can see it, and that just makes me want to drive even further. Tiffany Rocks. In all honesty, as many times as me and hers went back and forth into the ring,
Hmm.
all of her passion that she used to have, and she probably still does have. I know she wrestles every now and then still, but I really looked up to Tiffany Rocks, of course, Casey Carlisle, Mercedes Martinez. She's number one on my list. Like, if I could work Mercedes Martinez, she would be the person I would want to work.
Oh, okay.
So
That's high
yes,
praise.
yes, yes, I love Mercedes Martinez. Um, and I'd have to say, I know growing up, I watched. She was on WWE Victoria. She used to go by Victoria. Tara, I think she went by Tara too.
Yeah, she went by Tara as a TNA knockout.
Yes,
Lisa Marie
yes,
Varon.
yes, I absolutely love her, and her pretty much my character. I tried to involve my character kind of like her because I was like so passionate over her. So she's up there on my list too with Mercedes Martinez. So they're my two number one female wrestlers, I would have to say.
Well, if you want to work her, you're gonna have to convince a promoter in the next 6 months. Well, what are we in? We're in the third. In the next 9 months,
Yeah,
this is it for her. She said this is her
I
farewell year.
know. I know it.
You got to get somebody to say, hey, we got to book that match, the Widow versus Tara.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And what fun that'll be.
Oh yeah. Oh, it would be so much fun.
And we have to talk Tiffany out of complete retirement now, because I'm not happy about hearing that that she's winding down. Then I heard Roxy
Yes.
was winding down. I was like, oh man, I'm losing y'all.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
I had such big plans. I wanted to see them back as a tag team.
Oh yes, yes, absolutely.
See, I tell you, life losing some of my favorite wrestlers now.
Yes.
The life has gone on, and they've decided to not hang up the boots necessarily, but not be out there doing it every
Not
weekend, I guess.
yeah. Yeah. Pretty
I,
much.
I think you're gonna have to talk to them about that.
Yeah, I guess I am.
They may listen to you.
Yeah, they may. They may actually.
Have you ever had any desires or tryouts for any major promotion that have you ever felt like, you know what, I want to give this a shot, or has it just always been, I'm just happy kind of wrestling where I wrestle?
I mean, it's crossed my mind a couple times, but I am happy with just where I am now. But if I did have the opportunity, I would really want to do like Shimmer or something like that. That would be something I would be interested in. But other than that, I'm pretty happy just staying, locally and doing the whole independent scene and just, around, these parts of, like Tennessee and Georgia and stuff like that.
I thought Shine would have been a really good fit for you. I still do. I just in, like I said, your the style that you presented to me in that match in particular, where it was just no nonsense, no frills. I'm coming out here, I'm going to do my job, then I leave. And if they could relay that to the viewing audience, I was like, she would have been perfect. The widow in that incarnation would have been perfect to go to, because she would have stood out. Everybody else was doing a lot of flair, and it wasn't that you couldn't do it. I just like that presentation. I don't know why. I enjoy that presentation.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So are we going to see that again? Are we going to get that again in the future?
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of tricks up my sleeve, so yeah, just be on the lookout.
Now, as a woman that is trained and put yourself through the beating and the rigors of being in a ring, what I have to ask your personal opinions about those that, and I'm not going to name any names. Let me just start with that. Those that step into the ring who are clearly untrained and get in with yourself and other, individuals that have gone through the proper channels, but now it's your job to kind of make them look good, even though they haven't, even though that may not be, well, I'm not even going to say, even though they are not on the level that you are, because they haven't trained for it. And in fact, it becomes your job to keep them safe.
Yes. I know we all have to start somewheres, and but if you're gonna come into the business, and if you're not properly trained, then you put not only your own life but mine as well. And I mean, just I would rather you be properly trained. I mean, I can keep you safe, but just just don't try and do all this and that, high flying, or if you can't do it, don't do it. I mean, don't try and hurt yourself or hurt the person you're with, or anything like that. Just I don't know. It's iffy with somebody who's untrained. I would rather. I mean, I understand being, the greenhorn and, being trained, but if you're coming in with no training at all, then I probably will take the whole match, or we probably won't even, work for long, like maybe a couple shots and then that's it.
Well, that's probably the best thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, I'm going to slam you and that's it. Just take the pin and we're done. That's
it.
I mean, now I know one of your girls, and again, I may not need to say the name because it might be easily traced. She got into the ring with somebody that was untrained, and she she pulled a good match out of her, or a decent match, but I knew for a fact that this person was untrained because she admitted it. I was like, or self-trained, we'll say that.
Right.
And I know that is not the most comfortable situation to be in when you're trying to, like, okay, I'm paid to make this match work, but at the same time, like, how much can I really do?
Right, exactly. It's like, like you come in, you're not trained, and I'm not trying to put my life on the line with yours as well. So don't step in the ring, period. And if you do, then we're just gonna brawl for a minute, and then you're just gonna lay there and take the pin, and we're gonna go to the back and talk about what needs to happen. Just yeah, that's.
Well, now these are the ups and downs that you face as a
Yeah,
worker in the
yeah.
business. Another of one, which being the promoter. I can only imagine at least once or twice you might have come across a promoter of, shall we say, maybe low moral fiber. That,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
what? Now, how do you handle this situation?
Um,
And again,
just
you ain't got
like
to put nobody out there now. Let me just say that you ain't got to call no names, nothing like that. But but when you do come across that, how do you deal with it?
yeah, I mean, if I come across, like if a promoter tries to book and then tries to book somebody who doesn't even know anything about the business, more than likely I will just politely be like, look, I'm sorry, I'm not too comfortable with this, and more than likely I just turn down the offer and just tell them that you're just gonna have to find somebody else because I'm just not comfortable with being put in the ring with something or someone and getting hurt, or just give it to somebody else because I'm not interested, honestly.
Okay, hey, that's fair. That's fair. Uh, you know what I'm surprised about, at least during, let's say, the last 3 or 4 years, I'm surprised that you and the rest of the girls hadn't kind of pooled yourselves together to kind of travel state to state. You know, there was enough of you guys there collectively. There was enough talent that you could have, basically booked what, maybe five of y'all at any given time.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Why did this not happen?
Honestly, I really don't know. I've always wondered the same thing. Honestly, I I really don't know why this did not happen. Just thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, that we could have had all of us, we could all carpool, but and sometimes it is the promoters not wanting to pay us females what we ask for, or there's just lots of stuff like maybe some drama with some of the girls or this and that, but other than that, I don't see why we couldn't have just but hey, there's perfectly a lot of us right here, we just go up here, have some great matches, but yeah, most of the time most of the time it's normally the promoters that don't want to pay what we ask for, honestly.
Well, unfortunately, yes, I can see that because I have known several promoters who just have out and out
Hmm.
decided that it wasn't worth it. Um,
Yeah.
and that's really a unfair scenario. I'm not even sure what I could say with that. And it's been an up and down with the women's wrestling just in general. And I'll speak on my end of it. I know when I suggested it originally to a particular promoter who will remain nameless, he didn't see any value in that up until the channel that I have showed numbers, and then suddenly there was all girl shows being produced by him. Now,
Hmm.
I don't know if he's continued to do that since then. I know it's at least been three or four, but that just seems to be the way it goes. How do you survive it? I mean, because you just brought up a really good point. There's, at least in this area, there's not a huge amount of, say, all girl promotions or promotions that support a vast number of the women. If you do, you might get one, one on a show or something like that. So, how do you manage it?
Honestly, I don't know. It's just one of those where it's like most, yeah, there's not really that many all women's promotions out there, and I actually was on a here recently. I think it was Making Towns Wrestling. I was on it was all women's promotion. But other than that, I haven't really seen that many all women's promotions, around, and it's normally just, mostly the men, and then they may have one or two women matches, and we're just, it's hard, but you just have to find promotions that's willing to, book women, and just have to go with that. And I wish there was more all women's shows around, and I wish there was more promoters that would book women, because I know some promoters only want the men, but
Yeah.
but you just have to do what you can do, and just move forward, and just keep moving on with your career, no matter where you go, no matter what it is.
I was told the Women's Pro Wrestling Network needs to start producing matches. Uh, if I will say publicly, if I had the money, I would. Okay, I think that
Right.
when I get those messages or the comments to me, it's like, yeah, I appreciate it, and yes, that would be a great idea, but it's not
Uh-huh.
it's not necessarily an easy thing to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because if I could have done it, I'd have done it a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
But considering your passion for the business, and you like being in the ring, if you were not wrestling, would you take some other aspect of it? Manager, valet, behind the scenes, interviewer, booker, or is there any other slot in wrestling that you feel like, what, I might want to give this a shot?
Oh yeah, if I wasn't actually actually a wrestler working inside the ring, I would love to be a valet, or I'd even ref. I wouldn't care to ref, commentate. I would do pretty much anything just to be around the business. I would do it.
Okay. As a commentator, all right. Have you tried that before?
No, I have not, but it's something I would try. Honestly, I really would.
Well, I think maybe one of these days we'll get the widow as a guest commentator on a Women's Pro Wrestling Network match. Who knows? That sounds like that
Oh
could be
yeah.
fun. Babyface or heel? Now, I have my guess as which one you prefer, but tell me your preference.
Heel.
Yeah, I figured that. So, okay, all right. So why? Why do you prefer heel? Now, I think that before you even say it, I only have one match where I think you've worked face on this channel. All the rest of them are heel. So why do you prefer heel?
I prefer heel. I would have to say my character is kind of dark. So, but honestly, you're gonna love me or hate me either way. So, no matter whether you're talking bad, you still got my name in your mouth. You still pay. They're still gonna pay money to come see me, and I just really love running my mouth to the crowd, to the fans. I still have my fans that love me no matter whether I'm baby or face. But just me personally, deep down in my heart, I would rather just be a heel. That's just how I just feel. I feel more. How can I say this? I feel more. Oh, I don't know how to put it. Like,
You feel more
I
at
just feel like
ease.
that's more of my character. Like, I should be a heel. Like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, baby face. You get all. I just can't be all bubbly and I just can't do.
What do
I
you mean
feel
you
like
can't do it?
I feel like deep down in my bones, I was born to be a heel.
I'm like, what do you mean you can't be bubbly? You seem like such a nice woman.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can be, but I don't know. I just like being that bad girl, that heelish mode. Like, don't mess with me, or I will mess you up. Like,
Okay, we'll keep that in
but
mind. Now, the Megan the Towns, and I hope I'm saying it right. Which one did you participate on? Was this one of their big events that they had? 'Cause I don't know
yeah, it
if
was.
they run regularly or not. I don't know how they operate. I've only seen one, and it was I don't want to say it was a pay-per-view, but it was a larger event, like a tournament.
Yeah, this one was actually at the TWE Arena in Chattanooga or Red Bank. I think it was Red Bank.
Hmm.
It was a all women's show. I can't remember the date, but it was actually the show. It was Jordan Grace was to be there, but she couldn't because she had signed with
Impact.
Impact. Yeah, and she was supposed to be there. So but it was one. I just can't remember when it took place. It was a couple months ago. I think they only come into town, or they only come to TWE. I think every maybe 3 months or so. I think it's been about 3 months since I had that match. And I actually worked Roxy at that show. But yeah, it was all women's. It was all women's. So I think they did have a guys match on there, but most of it was women. They I don't think they run every month.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm not too sure.
And you and Roxy again. See that's another one. That's another
Yes.
name that you seem intertwined with. Like whatever y'all do, y'all can't really separate from the other. She's always there.
Yep. Always.
Which I will say, what gosh, and I gotta remember the episode. She provided me a match from TWE, asked me to put it on the channel. 23, episode 23, Widow versus Rock and Roll Roxy. I believe you upset her for the championship this particular one. But I mean, it was a good match, and it was the first time I'd seen her throw, uh, well, throw you around for one, and two, I think she did like 3 or 4 different versions of suplex in a row, and I had never seen her do that.
Yes, I know that was the TWA or TWE Women's Championship. I think that was that match. Um,
Yes.
um, yeah, that was a good match. I actually enjoyed that, and that's when I won the TWE Women's Championship that night.
Yes, again, all serious mode. I think, yeah, you did a little bit of a lighthearted spot in the beginning of it, but outside of that, it was all business.
Mhm.
So yes, another one for you listeners out there. If you wanted to see the widow work, uh, make sure that you go digging through the archives. So we got episode 19 with her versus Jessica Whitmore, episode 23 with her versus Rock and Roll Roxy. There is no number to the episode. It's actually more of a special, but the Deep South Championship Wrestling Ladies Night 2014 main event, you can skip right down to the end. So that's like 3 good matches that you could go check out and see what she's all about right there. And you don't have to go much further than the Women's Pro Wrestling Network to do it. I mean, how great is that? So, I mean, under one umbrella. Uh, you talked about the stuff that you would do. How about the creative? You ever thought about booking?
Oh, honestly, I have never thought about that.
No? Never crossed your mind?
Oh, never crossed my mind, honestly. I mean, here and there, I mean, in the back of my mind, but then I'm like, I don't know. That's a lot of work to do.
Yes, it is.
So I have 5 kids as it is. I don't know if I can
If you can
add
manage
that
it.
extra workload to my 5 kids as it is.
Well, hey, well, let's put it this way. What if you were to assist in booking, not necessarily be the booker?
Yeah, I could possibly. Yeah, I could probably handle assisting booking than just being the actual booker. Yeah.
Okay, see, there you go. So not just be the one that like, hey, I'm gonna do all
Yeah.
the booking from top to bottom, but if you were just assisting the lead person, the lead booker, lead writer, whatever you want to deem it as, and you can just kind of offering your 2 cents, like, hey, well, what if we did this? I mean,
Yes, exactly.
okay, so yeah, I didn't know it. Ultimately, we want to see if the creative end is something that you would be interested in doing at any given point. So,
Yes, absolutely.
okay, so there we have it. We covered a good chunk of your aspirations, what you would and would not do. But speaking of aspirations, are there any short-term goals for the widow right now, as far as your in-ring presence is concerned?
Uh, no, honestly, I don't.
So one day at a time.
Yeah, that's pretty much just taking it one day at a time, honestly.
Okay, well, I'm gonna apply a goal for you then. I'm gonna say that
Okay.
you have to be working in another Georgia ring. We're gonna start with a small goal. You're gonna need to be working into another Georgia ring within the next 6 months.
Absolutely.
The second half of that is you probably need to tag up with the White Widow at least once this calendar year.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Not have you seen the White Widow?
Yes,
Okay, so yeah, like the widows need to get together at least once. That just
at
seems
least one.
it just seems like it's just made for each other. The Black Widow,
Right?
Brianna
Yes.
Call, the White Widow, Bristol Hale, the widows.
Yes, that's perfect.
And you need 2 girls that you could beat down. Now I'm going to test your creative juice right now here on the spot. Give me 2 names that the widows can beat up.
Oh.
Let's test that booking mind.
Oh Lord. um
I normally save this for the random questions portion of the show, but we're going to give you an early one.
oh Lord. There's so many out there. There's so many women out there.
Well, first let me just say,
Danny Jordan and let's see, Danny and yeah, see that's about all I got is Danny Jordan.
no, you can do it. I believe in you, Brianna. Come on,
Um,
you can do it.
let's see.
We got Danny Jordan. She's a little spark plug. She's a tiny,
Yes.
tiny powerhouse.
Mm,
Let,
powerhouse,
let, let's
powerhouse.
let's let's name off a few that might work in the role. Let's see, Kizzy Page, perhaps, Austin Madison, Aja Pereira,
Yes. Oh, Aja would be a great one.
Aja. Well,
Yes.
well, see now you definitely have to be healed, which is probably what you want to be anyway.
Yes.
So I mean, there we have the Black Widow, the White Widow, and versus 2 smaller opponents, but y'all can kind of beat up and throw around, which would be great.
Exactly. Exactly. It's perfect. It's perfect.
So anybody out there that wants to sponsor this match, I think we can make that happen. That might be something worth it, and that definitely, if you actually get this thing going, I need notice so I can bring the cameras.
Yes.
We cannot let that match happen and not be produced. So there we go. I think that was a good booking. That was good. That wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I think that worked perfect.
So there we have it. Now we come to the portion of the show where I go through random questions.
It's time for random questions.
This is where I ask you stuff that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with wrestling, but because I do it for fun. I like to keep this thing light. So, Black Widow, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Have you entertained entering any other avenue of the entertainment industry?
No.
What do you watch? Television, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, traditional broadcast? What is your source of viewing pleasure?
Netflix all day long.
Netflix.
Yes.
What is the hardest thing about being a parent that you didn't understand before you had kids?
So, the hardest thing, oh Lord, I would have to say naps. I really, really love to sleep. So naps is the hardest because your kids don't want to nap. So you want them to nap and they don't want to nap.
Ah, yes. Indeed.
Yes.
What's your preference? Live action Disney or animated Disney?
Animated.
What's a cartoon that you watched as a kid that your children have no concept of?
Oh, Pocahontas.
Really? They have no concept of Pocahontas?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, my kids. I even said I told my oldest. I said I wanted to. Pocahontas was on or something. I said I want to watch that, and my son was like, "Who's Pocahontas?" I was like, "Oh my God, son!"
And it was at that moment where you realized the generational switch had been flipped.
Exactly.
Like, what do you mean? Who is it? Well, don't worry. Look, I get that all the time. My kids, my son doesn't understand some of the stuff I watch. It's like, and if he does, when I looked at it, it's like, man, that looks terrible. I'm like, what? This is great animation back when I was like, you mean the Transformers looks bad? This is
exactly.
it's like, just make your old man feel worse. Why don't you? If you had not gone into wrestling, what would you have done with yourself?
Oh Lord.
Ah, that's one to think about.
Oh, that is one to think about because honestly, I have no idea.
Okay. Well, you know what? You can answer for that one then. It was wrestling or bust.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Okay. Last random question. You have to picture this now first. It's the middle of the day. The kids are awake. You're on the phone. Are your kids capable of not interrupting your conversation?
Not at all.
And there lies the answer of every parent. Only parents will get that.
Yes.
The bonus answer would have been if you could have said, "Can't you see mommy's on the phone?" That's usually the response or something.
Yep.
Ah, yes.
Fantasy booking.
Fantasy booking. Last leg of the interview, last leg of the show. Thank you everybody for tuning in to this so far. We've had a good time with Brianna Call, and now we're going to test her booking acumen one more time, because it is always the belief of the host, myself, that every wrestler has at least one angle or storyline that they've kind of tucked away inside of their brain for such an occasion. So I am going to put you on the spot.
Oh no.
But you've done so well. You've done so well, Brianna. Just stick with me now.
Okay.
This is the point where you get to tell me that, hey, if I had the book and I was booking a perfect angle, storyline, however long it's going to take, a week, or not just a match. Now, let's be clear, not just a single match. It's an angle. So if you were going to do that, give me your fantasy booking.
Oh.
Now, just so you know, Mr. Green is here to help you out. So, you know, that's we will weave this thing together if you have too hard of trouble.
Okay. Mm.
Well, let's start with let's find you an opponent first. Let's start with that.
Okay.
Probably no better opponent for you than Roxy.
Yeah.
Y'all have worked each other a number of times. You probably could wrestle each other blindfolded at this point.
Yes, that's right. You're absolutely right.
So just based on that alone, if we were going to start and work our way to, I don't know, what would be a good match for you to work your way to?
I would have to say, because I've always wanted to do, but I want to do this before my career or before I do go out or whatever. I would have to say a tables match. I want to go like table, like a TLC match, something like that, because you don't see women do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the perfect angle to build towards a tables match.
Okay, that's it. Now you're talking. There you go.
Yes.
So you trying to get to the climax of this thing, is you gonna polish it off on a tables match?
No. Yes.
Now see, if you wanted to add in some extra, I don't know, this is some extra players is what I was looking for. See, then you can turn that also to a tag, and then she can pull out Tiffany Rocks, and they can reform. Well, we can't say the old names. So in my world, in my universe, they're the Rock and Rocks connection. We will leave them at that.
Okay.
So they reformed the Rock and Rocks connection, and you have the widows on the opposite side of that. You're trying to get to the tables match. How do we get there? Other than the fact that Roxy is kind of beating you up and whatever the case may be. No, you're the heel. It got to be the other way around. What am I talking about?
Mhm. Yeah. I have to be beating her up, and every time I'm, let's see, it would have to be, like, I'd have to be beating her up, and then of course, she'd have to bring, Tiffany in, and, we'd have to, be beating on Tiffany, and then, I don't know, we just have to incorporate.
It has to be a series of beatings that they have said enough is enough.
Exactly. They say enough is enough. Let's just end this. Let's have this big, huge blow-off match, and we're gonna, use tables, and
there you go.
And of course, it'd be tag match, of course. Just as soon as they go through the tables, that's it.
See, and we ain't talking 10 to 11 carries. Tables, ladders, and chairs.
Yes.
Now, if this had happened earlier, I forget when I shot the match with you tagging with Roxy. I'm pretty sure that's probably been a year by now. Has it been that long? Probably. There was a match that you and Roxy tagged up to take on Jessica Lee and America Strong. Yeah, that's got to have been over a year by now.
Yeah.
Because America's since retired. So, but I will say, now the end of that match would have been perfect for you to set that up, because I know she was trying to be babyface. I know she was. But at the end of the match, it was like, okay, now if the Widow turned on here, it would make perfect sense to me that you do it. Because at the end, she's like, okay, y'all lost the match. She's lost the fall. And the next day, she's on the microphone talking about, hey, I'm going to get me a partner, and I'm going to get Rebel, and she's going to be my partner. And meanwhile, you're sitting there like, okay, well, you getting a partner?
Yeah.
So sitting right here. Like, that was perfect.
Yes, it would have been perfect.
And in my mind, I was like, why did they do something with this? This is great. That'd have been a perfect time for you to come back the next month or whatever the case may be and heel out on her. Like, how dare you?
Absolutely.
Shuffle me off to the side for Rebel just because she's a teenage don't make her good.
Yes, exactly.
That would have been the catalyst right there. That would have launched it off of me. If it was my way, if I had the book, if I had the magic pen, that would have been the thing that shot it over the moon. So I would have had to start in reverse. I would have had to start with Tiffany opposed to Roxy. You can beat up on her. You can smack her around with a chair every once in a while. You can lose, but as long as you still get the heat back and just beat her up some. And then we finally get to the point, the blow off that you're aiming for. You say, okay, enough is enough. I'm bringing in my real partner. I'm bringing in Rock and Roll Roxy, the Rock and Rocks connection back together again. Boom, boom, boom. And you say, all right, well, for the first time ever, the Widows are going to be live, and we're going to put you through these tables, something, something, something.
Yes.
You'd have to cut your own promo.
Yes, that would be the perfect match.
Well, see, there we go. Brianna, go book it. Go talk to your promoter.
Absolutely.
Tell them they can have that one for free. I laid it out. I've given it to you. They can have that one. Just tell them to give me a little bit of credit. Say, hey, this one comes from Mr. Green from the Women's Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
So there we have it. I think we've gone through fantasy booking. We've gone through the random questions. We've hit the highlights of the career. I've already made the prediction. We have 2 of them levied on you right now. 1, that you make the Georgia return. 2, that yourself and the White Widow Bristol Hell must tag up at least once in the calendar year of 2019. I don't know. I don't know who's going to pull that together, but that should happen. Anything else that you'd like to add to this wonderful conversation that we're having so far?
Just that I'm honored that you had me on the show, and I love women's wrestling.
Well, I absolutely want to tell you that the doors are open. You're welcome to come back anytime that you please. If you have any news and views that you want to share to your people out there, the platform is yours. Any contact information that you'd like to share, social media, that people can follow you, contact you, book you?
You can find me on I'm on Twitter under Black Widow. The same with my Facebook and my Instagram. All of them, you can find me under the Black Widow. Yeah, that's. I mean, I love all my fans, and just look up Black Widow and you'll find me.
Okay. That sounds good. And as for me and the Women's Pro Wrestling Network, you can find that, all one word, Women's Pro Wrestling Network, on Facebook and on YouTube. Those are the primary sources of information as it relates to our product. Of course, if you go to WPNWrestling.com, our website, it is the nexus for all things Women's Pro Wrestling Network. And, you know, for those that have sent these messages asking for original matches and such, it is the reason why now we are going off into merchandise, because the only way that I'm ever going to produce that for you guys is if there is an influx of money. So what better way than to start selling some t-shirts and merch? So if you want to see the likes of the Black Widow, or Rock and Roll Roxy, Tiffany Rocks, the White Widow, Bristol Hale, Austin Madison, Aja Pereira, Double D Rose, so on and so forth. If you like to see them participate in matches of original content produced by the Women's Pro Wrestling Network, then there is your outlet right there. All you gotta do, hit that site up, go to their shop page, and you will find everything you need. Or if you're just feeling generous, go to podbean.com, Women's Pro Wrestling Network, and hit the donate button, and you can drop something right there, and then we will pass that on to the talents that need it. So, with that, I think I have covered a bunch. What do you say, Widow? Think I covered a lot?
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, there we have it. I think we have covered the entire spectrum, and that sounds good for me. If it sounds good for her, it sounds good for me. So for Mr. Green, this is the Women's Pro Wrestling Network, Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling. And this is me saying that this is Mr. Green saying that I will catch you on the next go-round.
Thank you for listening to the WPN's Rights and Wrongs of Pro Wrestling. If you have questions or comments, please contact us via our Facebook or our YouTube channel at the Women's Pro Wrestling Network. If you're new to the WPN, feel free to subscribe to our channel and like our page. We appreciate your support. Thank you again for listening.